guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video review video. And as you know, a lot of celebrities are in the hot seat right now, so I don't want to miss out on this opportunity to talk about what's going on. So let's get into it. The first celebrity up is Whoopi Goldberg. So Whoopi Goldberg has been in the news all week long, and people are just pissed off, and people want a piece of her. They want to take her head and take her dreadlocks and rip it apart. And anyway, too violent. Currently, Whoopi Goldberg has been suspended from The View. You know, interestingly though, I really thought that The View, by the way, if you don't know who The View is this round table of women that sit around and talk shit about everything and everyone except for them own. So I was actually very surprised when The View would release a statement next day saying, oh yeah, well, you saw the news. Anyway, she's suspended. And that's all they said. Well, let's get to what Whoopi Goldberg actually said. Okay. And she alluded to this idea that, look, the fight was, or the war was between two group of W people. Well, one, it wasn't a war. Two, yes, it certainly was a conflict. So was she right? Was she wrong? Well, I think yes and no, because when you look at it from Whoopi's perspective, a woman that was born November 13th, 1955 in America, in those days, everything was black or white. You were either black or you were white. She's born in this place, and to this day America is still very much black and white. Now, she may have traveled outside the country, but eventually she always went home to her America. That said, the Holocaust was a major human tragedy. 6 million Jewish people were exterminated because the German government decided in those days that the Jewish the J people I keep going back, or Hobby Dahard, that the J people were an inferior race and therefore didn't deserve the right to live, and they were going to get rid of them. It was a major human fuck up, a major German fuck up. In fact, after that though, Germany, present day's Germany, I'm talking today Germany, not back then, I'm talking today Germany, have done everything in their power to reconcile their wrong. Now, I do admit it's hard enough to try to reconcile for one life, not to mention for 6 million lives. That's a lot. But they've gotten rid of all the artifacts, they've gotten rid of all the monuments that reminded them of those dark time in history, which I can only tilt my hat to for them for doing that. But they did in fact keep the concentration camps, you know, for historical teaching. And that's something that the rest of the world hasn't really done for black people. And let me point out another thing, since I'm acknowledging this major historical human fuck up. One of the biggest, and as far back as you can go in time, one of the biggest human tragedy, historical human tragedy and fuck up in all of human history since the beginning of mankind has been the transatlantic slavery, where they took Africans from Africa and brought them into America, the UK, Canada, the Caribbean island, and enslaved them. That is by far the biggest human tragedy. But we tend to forget that. We tend to forget how huge that is, and we only focus on the tragedy that we want to focus on, and we shouldn't, because arguably you can argue that if it wasn't for how the enslavement of black was perpetrated in America, the Holocaust probably wouldn't have been possible, because that event gave the blueprint for what would happen to the J people in Nazi Germany. True or false? You can look it up, it's right there. All I am saying, we shouldn't ignore one event and only focus on the things that we want to focus on. In another video, we'll get down to why this is, but for now, just wanted to point that out. Let's go back to Whoopi Goldberg. Look, people, I can't deny that Whoopi Goldberg should not have said what she said. Though I don't totally agree that what she said is completely out of line, but she shouldn't have said it. She's an employee. You can't go to work and insult your employers. You are not there for that. You are being hired to talk about other things other than your employers. You are being hired to talk about the Dave Chappelle. You are being hired to talk about the baby. You are being hired to talk about the Kanye West, to talk about the Nick Cannon. You are not being hired to talk about them, because once you do that, you have to get reprimanded, and they will make an example of you, and they are making an example of her, and they have to make an example of her to send a message all across the borderline that, look, there are certain people in the society that you just cannot talk about. You can't talk about the J people, you can't talk about the Alphabet people, and you can't talk about the W people. It is as simple as that. That is the world that we're living in now. That is the war that we're having to face right now. It's that you can't talk about it. Regardless if your facts is correct or incorrect, you can't talk about it, because you're bringing back too much of the past that nobody wants to acknowledge. You understand? So you can't talk about it. So she was completely out of line, like I said. And what was also confusing too with the Whoopi Goldberg situation is that all along I thought that Whoopi Goldberg was actually Jewish due to her name. But it turns out that back in those days, Whoopi Goldberg wanted a better opportunity for herself, so she chose the name Goldberg. I thought she got it from like her late husband or somebody she was married to, something like that. I don't know. But she chose the name Goldberg, which is a Jewish and German name. Ironically. But hey, what the heck do I know? For the longest time, I thought Michael Rappaport was a white guy. And then I came to find out, get this, I came to find out that Michael Rappaport is not just white, he's Jewish. And he ain't just Jewish, he's black. So don't listen to me, please. Don't do that. Don't listen to me. In closing, folks, listen. Leave your comment down below on the Whoopi Goldberg situation. Was she completely out of line? Did she have any right to say what she said? I've already left my bit. In the meantime, though, do like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Besides, what other celebrity news you would like me to cover? What other interesting news you would like me to cover? Make your suggestion now, and maybe, hopefully, next video it'll be your news that I get to talk about. All right, guys, we're out of here. Let me get back to my orange eating. It's a little too early over here right now. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.